All right, we have another recap here for Wednesday. This is already Thursday, so this daily candle here is Thursday's price action overnight. This is Wednesday. As you can see, we did not feel like continuing the longs for some clean price action into these highs. Instead, we are just back into consolidation. Debatably the worst consolidation so far, like compared to this consolidation. At least it's like a little bigger of a range, with some movement. Now we're just kind of really dicing in on that consolidation. So yeah, the day would be as expected for, you know, for price action like that. Okay, this is actually still correct. It's only Wednesday's price action. So essentially, going into the day, right, we had these very juicy highs here that it looked like we were delivering to. Um, but no, we also have these juicy lows, and at the end of the day, or I don't know about at the end of the day, but yeah, overnight we'd rallied, and then in London we kind of stopped a little shy, right? Put in the London high to kind of stack with these highs as well. And then in New York, when New York opened, we were just going lower, right? Like that's really what was happening. Basically, that was basically everything. So we decided, yeah, not to take those highs. That would have been pretty obvious, in my opinion. Like, had we here at 9:30 tapped this 15-minute breaker and then ran higher, I would not have been surprised. Instead, we break down past it, then retest this 15-minute gap, which unfortunately, if we look at all the markets, we can see that 10 a.m. trades above 9:45, right? That's what we're looking at here. So 10 a.m. trades above 9:45 on ES as well, and on YM as well. So there's no SMT on this gap tag to look for any potential short continuation. Even if there were, the 1 minute didn't quite play out for that. From there, we just sell off massively into these lows. Even here, I was still honestly eyeing a continuation lower. It just did not happen in the macro. It happened kind of after the macro. So nothing to do there. And then, yeah, like 11:50 macro at the end of kind of this consolidation here as we headed into the lunch macro. I would have been willing to look for retracement, right? Because we had a pretty bearish AM session, and we took some, high time frame sell side. And we know what the lunch macro likes to do on days like that. Usually, it's kind of a retracement reversal deal. Not today. Also, there was no setup for it, but yeah, price just continued lower throughout that macro, and then eventually at the end of lunch hour, we kind of reversed higher. In an unfortunate way, because once again, no setup presented itself on this reversal. And then from there, really, the day kind of dwindled out. And like today's framework, looking for a short con after that 950, like after the initial sell off, and then looking, for a potential long here, whatever, it just never worked out. Like there were just no setups for me. Like this would have been the closest thing to a setup, but again, there was no SMT here for this breaker. And then even if there were, the breaker wouldn't have been retapped. And even if that weren't the case, the close was after the macro. So like almost, but not even close really. Then the 1050 macro, we had just taken out the sell side here going into that 1050 macro. So it was really kind of like, are we really going to get a fucking fierce continuation right away? Probably not. So kind of calm that out. And then the lunch macro, we just kind of consolidated and then sold off. So like there was nothing to do again. And then here going into this lunch macro, any potential like SMR possibilities were kind of cooked by this 1246 big ass bullish candle that kind of put in all the change in the states pre-macro. So again, nothing to do. And then afterwards, there was also no SMT or anything to kind of get a consecutive candle for a continuation on the longs. And then, yeah, the 150 macro just basically straight run higher, no opportunities to even do anything. But yeah, also the framework wasn't really there at that point to even do anything. If, like, I don't know, it just wasn't much. I think it's just very indicative of the conditions we're in, right? Just ranging kind of back and forth. So we'll see where that goes today. Right now, you'd assume maybe we're going to take the lows. Kind of looks like it, but at this point, honestly, you never know. So, yeah, we'll just have to kind of play by ear. I think this price action is not the one where you want to be coming into macros or like the session in general with a very strong bias. Because even if price looks like there's some obvious strong liquidity and it looks like it's trading to it, yeah, chances are it's not. It's just going to reverse and go the other way. So I think being flexible with your drawn liquidity or having more like short-term drawn liquidities, like equilibrium of ranges or like rejection blocks instead of, the highs, is probably, a sound way to approach price action. But yeah, that's that recap. So yeah, no trades on Wednesday, no trades on Tuesday, one trade on Monday, which Trump tweet fucking demolished that one. So it's been a very slow week. July and June both so far have been fucking horrendous months. So yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll turn around today. We'll see. But yeah, hopefully just at some point in the future, price action can go back to being relatively clean and we can have more juicy reviews, take more trades, because this is just really, I feel like I'm coming in here every day and just saying like, yeah, this macro, nothing happened, this macro, nothing happened, this macro, nothing happened, this macro, nothing happened, and this macro, nothing happened. See you later. And yeah, that's basically what it is today. So peace.